While many of our travels will take us to ports up and down the New England coast, today's first adventure is close to home, right here in Gloucester. Every year for the past 9 years, the city has hosted the Gloucester Schooner Festival, a weekend celebrating the history and tradition of this beautiful harbor, the oldest fishing port on the East Coast. The high point of every year's festival is the Mayor's Race. This year's contest includes 14 large schooners. Among them is this beautiful ship, the Letty G. Howard. She's celebrating her 100th anniversary this year and has returned here to Cape Ann and to Gloucester for her first ever try for the grand prize of the Mayor's Race, the Esperanto Cup. Her captain is Rick McDonough, and he's invited us aboard for a look at the ship.
She's 100 years old, being built in 1893. We are basically a true working museum. It took 2 years for South Street Seaport Museum in New York to do the total restoration. She is doing what she has done in the past. Of course, that was dory fishing. We have apprentices on board, which are high school age students. And these apprentices are on board to learn dory fishing as they had done it all by hand. The whole sense is to teach coordination, working together, and it's great to see them work together and accomplish looking good. For example, we have to look good tomorrow. We have a race coming up. So they're peeking out now. They're all excited. We've been working on trimming sail. Going forward.
While Captain Rick showed me around the Letty G, we talked about what it's like to sail on one of these old schooners and how the crew handles the tough conditions on the ship.
Is actually we put salt water in there. That is our bathing.
Oh, you're bathing water?
For shower, because we are once again back to basics. So the bowsprit, of course.
I even managed to get him to tell me a little about his strategy for tomorrow's race.
Race strategy. Well, of course, that's something you don't really want to advertise, so to speak. So I term it, we are going to dazzle them.
That's your strategy?
Plain and simple as that, yes.
Thank you, Captain, very much for the tour.
You're very welcome.
And we'll see you tomorrow at the skipper's meeting.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to seeing that dazzle. It's hard to imagine that anyone would be awake enough at 8 o'clock in the morning for a skipper's meeting, but here we are.
And the Norway 2.
So everyone understands the race scoring is on a boat-for-boat base. It's the first boat to finish is the winner, and so on down the line. No handicaps, in other words.
They are saying a south-southeast wind today. This year we're going to go over toward Great Egg Rock, down to Newcomb's Ledge and back. That'll give you a very short winded leg.
We'll see you back here at the awards dinner. Everybody make it now. Come on, we can't keep those boats moving, and then sail it safely and have a good time.
So that's it. Next stop, the starting area off Eastern Point for the 9th running of the Mayor's Race. We'll be on board the Letty G. Howard, and the Norway 2 will be close by just in case anything happens. But what could happen? These guys are pros, right?
Top line!
What could happen? A skipper's worst nightmare, that's what. No wind. At least not right away. When the start of the race came, the Letty G had her sails up and ready to go, but nothing to fill them. And she wasn't the only one having problems. The Adventure tore her mainsail and her crew had to sew it back together again by hand just minutes before the gun sounded. For those of you who've never watched a schooner race, all those magnificent ships together in one place is an awesome sight. But race may be the wrong word to describe what actually happens. They don't really move that quickly. And since we didn't have much wind, let's just say the Norway 2's 9 knots left all of us standing still. Even so, it was exhilarating to be on a 100-year-old schooner under full sail. Being with the crew, I really got a sense of what it means to be part of a team. It's hard work, even a little dangerous at times. But what a sense of accomplishment we had at the end of the day. And it didn't matter whether your ship was first across the finish line, like the Spirit of Massachusetts, or last, like the Letty G. I still came away from the race with a sense of pride and achievement. We all did. Wind or no wind, prize or no prize, being part of the crew was an experience I'll never forget. "100 years ago, when the Letty G. Howard first put out to sea, the fastest schooners were the first ones back to port and the first ones to sell their catch. Today's prize is a symbol of that great tradition when the wealth of New England came from the sea and not from the land. Our next adventure takes us to a place that also symbolizes that tradition.